shake. We get some on our dry brush. And as I say, we want as little paint on the brush as possible. I'm going to push these over there, bring the paint forward a little bit, and then using downward motions and we'll just keep touching onto the lip of the brush. The lip of the pot rather, not the lip of the brush. The lip of the pot with the brush. I'm going across here because it's a difficult area to get to. Yeah, just touch on the lip of the pot. Rub the excess paint off. Always rub the excess paint off as you're dry brushing. Because as I say, it's a dry brush, you want as little paint on the pot as possible. I'm just going over the underneath of the sword because it is a Silver Knight, so it will be silver all over the place. There we go, and that really is him done. However, because he's a Silver Knight, I want to add a little highlight because that looks quite flat at the moment. We are going to give a wash. The wash we're going to give is all over, and then we're going to come back again afterwards and then highlight once more, but using directional strokes so that you get the highlight and the low light. So as I was saying earlier, decisions can be made on the fly when you're painting minis, and that's one of the decisions I've made as I've been painting, because you're not seeing the actual highlights. What you're seeing is a dry brushed miniature. I mean, as I say, he's a Silver Knight, and therefore everything about his armour will be silver. And because I'm painting everything silver, you're not seeing highlights. So we need to create those highlights, and creating those highlights comes from creating shadows first of all. So I'm attempting to make all the armour silver, or rather to look silver, let's put it that way. I mean, what I could have done is actually paint everything silver, give it a black wash, and then highlight again. But I don't like that. I don't like the look of that. And there's only so much paint you can put on this to make it look silver before it starts looking silly. So we have our decision made for us by the fact that we need to get all the armour to look silver. So that's what we're going to do. Now, once I've done this and all the other minis are dry, I'm then going to go ahead and give a very, 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 very light wash. Over all of the mini in black. And yeah, so that's that done. Now what I need to do is find my black wash. So where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I can't see you. There you go. Right, so we're using Nuln Oil. So we'll give it all a good shake. And get our brush. And once again, as I say, it's all over the mini. But, as I said, don't let it pool too much. You do want it to pool a little in the shadow areas, but this is not to mean that you want it to pool everywhere else. If you put too much of this on, it's going to make it look wrong. It's going to fill in areas, it's going to look gritty and powdery. All the way up. I think that is it for this model. He will look much darker when we come back to highlight him, which is what we want. And then we can repeat the process. We can repeat the dry brush process once again, but on highlights. Make part of it stand out brighter, as though light's hitting it, rather than it just being all one particular colour. And we'll go over everywhere on the mini just to make sure it's all covered and the shadows are where they belong. Making sure the most important parts are the bits that are underneath and in shadow. But again, not allowing paint to pool. So when you've done this, make sure that you keep popping back as it's drying to check on it to make sure it's not pooling up. And finally, the best laid plans of mice and men, you know. I said I wasn't going to be washing it, and it turns out I'm washing it. You have to be versatile when you're painting. The subject that you're painting will tell you exactly what it wants. It's like it's got a mind of its own. And if it doesn't like your plans, you'll know about it. All you have to do is listen. When the model speaks, or the painting that you're doing, whether it be a model or some wall hanging arts or terrain or anything else, it will speak to you. You just have to learn to listen. I know I am not joking. You put a colour down, it doesn't go very well with what you're doing, so you change the colour. That's part of the listening process to the model. The model's telling you what it wants. You try putting something on canvas and it doesn't quite stick, it doesn't like it. So you need to make an adjustment. And that's the canvas telling you what it wants. The finished thing is there already, it's just us trying to bring it out. And if we can do it right, and we can do it to the model's liking, or the canvas's liking, or whatever else you're painting with, if you can do it to the liking of the subject, it will go very, very easy for you. So there we are. It's done. As you can see, it's getting a little darker now. As I say, we need to come back and make sure it's not pooling, and it is pooling a little on the cape. So we'll just brush it out. A little bit of pooling there as well. Let's have a look here. Again, a little bit of pooling there, a little pooling there. Here it pools around the soles of the feet. Also look out for that, because it can affect the way the it looks once you've based it. There we are. Can't do any more until it dries. So there we go. I'm going to have to leave it there. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Hello, back again. As you may have noticed, these are dry. They're looking a little bit duller than they were, which is what we want. So let's get cracking with these. All we have to do is just highlight a few areas. We're using once again the Stormhost Silver, as you can see, and we're doing it once again as a dry brush. So we get a small amount of paint on our brush, wipe it off, and we'll just go like that over some of the raised areas of the Mini. That is how I have found highlights work best. Here when you do it on the raised areas. There we are. That's all there is to it. There we go. That's why I've done this in one video. The original video for this showing the I'm saying I'm doing it all in one version. I went all blurry then. I said all in one video. It seems to be the best way of doing it. There's no point in making. In fact, what I might do, is I'll do 2 videos. I'll split it in half, and there'll be less than half an hour each, because the previous video for this was just about 45 minutes. So I didn't see much point in doing a very short video just to show the highlight video. But there we are. And I'm going to have to do the cape. I'm not doing the legging area because that doesn't really need doing, because you're not going to see that part properly. But the cape you are, and you're better making a good job of what you can see, and then what you can't see can always pass off as being in shadow. So I'll get my little hat on again, and for this we're going to be using Dawnstone. Oops. In fact, I'm not going to bother using that. I'm only going to use a very small piece of it. So what I'll do is I'll get out this that we've used before. Just a little bit of paint on the palette. Oh, this isn't the usual palette with. And just wash the brush off. Make sure there's water on it. Don't want it waterlogged, but I do want it. I don't want it dry brush. Okay, and we'll just go across the top here and down the folds. First, I want to add a little bit of black into this because it's not as dark as I was hoping it would be. There we have, that's better. We don't want it too bright. A spot of water. There we are. I'll just take it straight down. And go straight down the seams. Not seams, the folds. Like so. And down there as well. Looks like so. And we'll rinse the brush out again. And we'll get some more of the Dawnstone mixed into this, so it's a bit lighter. Oh, I shouldn't have done that yet, but we needed a little more paint mixed because it's not got as much as I thought we had. Spot more dawnstone. When all said and done, it would have been much easier just to get the other camera up and running, but never mind. And we're going to go over this, each of the minis in turn. And just make a broad stroke down. And make sure that if there's any of the silver dry brush paint that we did beforehand on the cape, that you make sure that it's all covered up. I'll just take not it's not lasted as well as I'd hoped, this paint, but never mind. I think we'll have enough to do this. And finally, oh dear Lord. Right, so I'm going to mix in a little bit more black. And a lot more of this grey, this dawnstone. We want much more of the dawnstone than we do of the black. We wanted a much paler colour. Add a spot of water, not all that much. How's this indifferent? It isn't. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit of administratum grey. Just to really lighten it up. That should do the job. That's it. A little bit of water. And we'll just go along raised areas and keeping to the raised areas with this. We don't want it going on paint the bits we just painted, because although it's not as bright a colour as it would normally be for a highlight, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some of the dawnstone and try it with that, because this is not as bright as I thought it was going to be. In fact, it's not much different than the colour we've just used for the main highlight, so oh well. So we'll have that there, and we'll use a little bit of the dawnstone, a spot of water in the mix, and then we'll go ahead and just do the extreme highlights on this. Just like so, right down the very raised areas. Don't cover all the previous highlight. Because if you do, it does detract from the model. You can't actually see that there's a highlight there. Oops. Now I've just gone over an area that I didn't want to go onto. I'll just get a little bit of water on the brush. No, that's not doing it. So I'm going to a little bit of black. In fact, I'm going to a little bit of this darker colour that we mixed earlier. Hopefully that will work. And back into this colour and just add a little bit there. And then finally, last chappy, and he will oops. Yep. That's that done. And just to finish everything off, another wash with none oil only on the just none oil only on the cape. There we go. And hopefully that should be our chaps done. And that's 3 more models for the BMR campaign. A model a week. I've done 3 models again this week, and I've also been working still on the the skeletons from Conan. I've missed one. In fact, I missed 2, to be honest. I've missed one to do on camera, and when I got to the club on Tuesday morning to carry on with them, I realised I'd missed another one. So I have one per. I've got 13 of them that are done to the point where I can start highlighting. I've got one that's done almost to the point where I can wash, and one completely clear. So the one that's completely clear I'm going to do on camera. But that's where we are with those. But let's have a look where we are with these. As you can see, the highlight there shows up quite well. These look really lovely models. Very simple paint scheme, but very effective. I like them. That is the Dark Souls Silver Knight Swordsman. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, as always, take care, God bless, and bye for now.